Well, hello everybody. Thanks for clicking on the link for this second video. And just want to take a few minutes here and go over a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to just mention is it's been quite a week in our country with the shooting that happened in Las Vegas on Sunday night. And just want to encourage you to be in prayer for the people of Las Vegas, for the people, especially those directly affected through this incredible evil act. Those who lost loved ones especially, but those whose loved one or friend was injured, shot, some hanging on by a thread for life at this point on life support and so on, and others who are simply going through the process of recovery. So just be in prayer for them. They desperately need to be lifted up in prayer this week and in the coming weeks. One of the other things I wanted to touch on is this coming Sunday, we're going to start a food drive for Impact of Southern Arizona. The last video I talked about our fall festival and that we're not doing it this year, but we'll be bringing it back in 2018. It will return in 2018. Impact of Southern Arizona has been a benefactor and kind of a partner with us with our fall festival. They do a number of things to help out those who are hurting in the northwest Tucson, the Catalina, Oro Valley area. And with a food bank, they have clothing, job assistance and training, just all kinds of things they offer to the community. What we're going to do in lieu of Fall Festival, it's a small piece, I think, of what we typically would do. But we're going to do a food drive all through the month of October, starting this Sunday on the 8th. We have a big goal that we want to hit. So we'll talk about that this coming Sunday, but just be aware of that. Some of the food items that they need are the normal staples. And if you want to bring some of that stuff this Sunday, we'll be collecting it this Sunday. There'll be an insert in the bulletin giving more details, but just wanted to make you aware of that and that we really want to bless them and be a blessing to the community through Impact and what they do for the community. The larger piece that I wanted to touch base on has to do with the transitions of moving up into the new spaces here in the next couple of months. I've done a lot of reading over the past year on change and transitions and how to lead through transitions. Tuesdays here at the church, those are our big meeting days on staff. And we had an extended staff meeting yesterday talking through all of the details, some of the changes that will happen in the various ministries just by nature of the new spaces, and some of the challenges that we are anticipating with those things. It was a great discussion and helpful to get all that stuff kind of out in the open and get feedback and brainstorm a little bit on a few of those things. But I wanted to touch base in regards to the whole process of moving into these new spaces. And one of the things that you see all the time, we always talk about how difficult change is for people and everything else. The reality is, it's not that the change is necessarily so hard. It's the process of it, or the transition of that change, which makes people so uncomfortable. The time from which you let go of the current, if you will, and you're going towards something, but you're not yet there. That no man's area in the middle, where it feels like you're not on solid ground yet. That creates a lot of challenges for all kinds of groups. Churches are not exempt from that. What we see a lot of times in that transition period, even when it's a change that everyone's excited about. I mean, when we go into these new spaces, they're phenomenal, and the blessing that we are receiving is just amazing. But even though the change is so good, it's still going to be a very difficult thing for some of us. So it's really important as we go through these changes. Let me come alongside as the pastor and just share. Churches have a way of being a bit passive aggressive with this stuff, where someone's happy or a group of people aren't really happy about something, and they just start to talk amongst each other. We see it in the book of Exodus It was always talked about the murmuring of the people. And it's understandable that you want to talk with people about some things you're thinking and feeling, but it's also it can be very dangerous. As you talk, sometimes that stuff can snowball. So let me encourage you. You're gonna possibly, I don't want to make it sound so certain, but if you begin to struggle with this, and it's kind of it's a wonderful thing, but it's a difficult process, maybe the change that's coming up in a couple months. Talk to the ministry leaders that you serve with. Share what you're thinking and feeling. What you don't want to do is either keep it inside and not share anyone, because there may be some good observations you can make that we can maybe tweak something in the space. And you also don't want to spread that necessarily and be one of those murmurers where we were talking with others and kind of complaining about this incredible thing, these good things. So I want us to make sure that when we move and go through this process, hey, number one, understand that it's a transition. And there's going to be a period of time that what we're so used to, what we're so familiar with, we have to leave that and embrace something that we're not familiar with, no matter how good it is. But that's a change, and that's a transition process. It's not always comfortable. Just understand that. Secondly, if you really have some concerns or want to talk with somebody, make sure you talk with some of the ministry leaders around, and just talk through it. And many times it's just helpful to talk through it and express it. But we want to make sure we do this in a healthy way as a church, and not an unhealthy way or dysfunctional way as we move into these spaces. We want to hit the ground running. We've got a great message to share. The greatest message in the entire world is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I want to make sure we share that in tremendous ways. So just wanted to touch base on a couple of those things with you. And I'm excited about what lies ahead, but it's got some challenges. But every good and worthwhile thing usually does. So have a great rest of the week, and I really look forward to seeing you this Sunday. Take care.